right, we live. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, before we get started, I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Nukar Kodash. All right, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and safety to all the sincere Akim I pushing this word of truth and in all sincerity. All right, Shalom. All right, is we good? You want to seem like it's pretty far? You want to scoot us?
No, you good.
We good?
There we go.
All right. So today is March 15th, 2019. And this is a very important day historically. And we're just going to go into the history of this day. We're going to touch on a little bit of the Ides of March.
Ides.
The Ides. No matter how many times I always mess that word. The Ides of March. Touch on that because that's a great story, a historical story of betrayal. And then leading on into the spirit of the Passover, which is a matter of days away. And when you go into Yahweh Shai's Passover, the main focus on that outside of Yahweh Shai being the pure sacrifice for the nation of Israel, is a story of Judas Iscariot, which was the story of betrayal. All right, so betrayal is in the air. Betrayal is it's spoken about heavily throughout the scriptures. The Lord prepared, if it happened to our Lord, then you have to be mindful of that happening too. Matter of fact, when you get 1 John 4:1, all right, so we're going to touch on betrayal, the March of Ides, the Ides of March. All right, we're going to touch on war. All right, because betrayal really, if somebody want to get the etymology of the word betrayal too, or betray, because betrayal is actually that's an act of war. Mm-hmm. You know, when we have an alliance with each other and we trust each other, and you break that trust, that's betrayal. And we went from being friends to foes, just like that. Mm-hmm. All right, so betrayal is really an act of war. Okay.
Also, like betrayal is like treason.
It is. Yeah. That's it. So bring out 1 John 4, and then we're gonna get the definition of betrayal.
This is 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they be of the Most High.
Yeah, because you got a lot of, as it says in Jude, a lot of crept in unawares. So you got to try the spirit, whether the spirit be of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Because the spirit of, if a man has the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he's going to be mindful of how he treats his fellow brethren. He would rather lay his life down than actually cost his brother his life, you know? So this is a heavy scripture of try the spirit. What are you trying the spirit of? Because it's a chance that man could betray you. And here it is. You've just become an open book to him, and you lay yourself out there thin. You tell him all your business. You tell him where you keep your money at, how much money you got in your pocket. Mm-hmm. You know, you done basically put your guard down. Mm-hmm. You know, to basically a nigga. Mm-hmm. You know, any more of that?
Because many false prophets are going out into the world.
Yeah, false prophets do what? The scriptures tell us that a false prophet will teach for filthy lucre's sake, basically. Mm-hmm. So if a guy will teach you the wrong thing for money, what will he do to you if it means his own freedom? Or it means to extend his life a little bit more, or extending his the life of his children or his family? He'll sell you out. That's betrayal. You looking at him like, Shalom, brother. How about, you saluting him, you hugging him, you giving him that righteous kiss. Mm-hmm. And behind his back, he got his fingers crossed, looking for the opportunity to stick you, man. Mm-hmm. All right? You got that definition? And y'all brothers, you got anything, bring it out.
Okay. This is the word betray. It's a verb. It says early 13th century. It says prove false, violate by unfaithfulness.
Right. What did we just read in 1 John? Many false brethren, many false prophets. So they're being proven to be what?
It says to violate by unfaithfulness,
mm-hmm.
prove false.
Prove to be false. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So a person that's proven to be false, you can't negate the fact that they will sell you out. Mm-hmm. And we're coming into a time where Jake is going to start selling each other out for breadcrumbs. For this size amount of water, this little bit of water, Jake will sell you out in these times that we're coming into. Bring it out.
It says Matthew 24:12. Jump right to the point. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
You got it, brother.
Like, I just wanted to bring that up because like the captain was saying, just for something so small and diminutive or minuscule, someone will sell you out. All right? That means their love has waxed cold. If you betray somebody, you never had love in the first place towards that person.
Yeah.
So that we already have entered into that time because it's happened to us on many occasions. And
Yeah.
some of us who's been in the truth for a lot amount of time, especially the apostles and elders, they've seen it. You know. So like the brother said when we first opened, it happened to Yahweh Shai, so it's gonna happen to us. A lot of people, the love is gonna diminish and disappear. You know.
That's it. You know. What you got?
No, I ain't gonna bring it out, but I was just basically hitting on the fact that you brought up the crap getting unaware.
Hey, if you got it.
Basically, there's wolves in sheep clothing.
You got that?
I got this Acts 20 and 29. It says, for I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock.
Not sparing the flock. See, a man of integrity that's minding the flock will lay his life for the flock. But a grievous wolf, as the scriptures say, a hireling, he leaves the flock. He's basically gonna leave the flock unattended. So he's looking for anything that comes that means he has to put himself in dangerous path. He gonna leave you out to dry. That's why we go so hard on making sure that as we open up with try the spirit. And a lot of you in these other camps, and you're not being in that spirit. You just engulfed in the excitement of being an Israelite. Because that's the honey. The honey is, I'm an Israelite. We're all brothers. Wow, we found the true Ak. But then the bitter is what? Damn, man. Somebody could sell me out, man. Somebody could purposely put me in a jammed up situation. But and I will say this, man, that's not something that you just walk around and you looking at brothers cross-eyed and like, yeah, you might sell me out, or you might. No, you don't do that. I'm not gonna waste my time with that. Whatever happens in the spirit of things is gonna happen. But you always gotta be mindful because the scriptures do tell us to what? Meditate upon evils, man. All right.
I got a quick precept.
Bring them out, yeah. What
This is Jeremiah chapter 9 and 4, and I'm not trying to push this this vibe out there, not to trust your brethren or anything, but you just gotta watch for yourself. All right. So this is Jeremiah chapter 9 and 4. It says, "Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother." If you want to break it down.
Yeah, because the scriptures say, prove a friend first, man. So hey, we got to go through these trials and tribulations together and build up that relationship before you can actually put your trust in a brother, man.
Because what does the scripture say? A friend is proven through adversity.
Yes.
So that's how you can tell, like, oh, I can trust this brother. We've been through this, we've been through that. He was there for me. He was there for me with this, and so on and so forth. So what does that do? That builds your trust and shows that a man has integrity for you. But like you said, if you just putting your trust in a brother open-heartedly that you've never, but yeah, that was good. You got it.
It says, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders.
See, you got to be mindful of this thing, man. This is a tough walk. Scriptures say that wisdom will try you on crooked paths. And part of that is the false brethren. That is a reality of this walk. And truthfully speaking, we the only camp that really pushes that heavy vibration, that be mindful of false brethren.
Yeah.
Everybody else like to paint this picture like everybody it's all good. It's all good. Man, we at war, man. We were at war. Shalom, brother. No different than the Matrix. What was his name? Cypher. He just got tired of the hardship. And what did he do? He just told the agents, I give you whatever you want, just put me back in the world, man. A lot of these guys that have been kicked out of camps, these people that left, That, you know, Esau still got their number. Esau still looks at them like a threat.
Yeah.
You know. So again, it's Esau knows the prophecies. He knows the prodigal son. But Esau don't know who it is. So how does Esau do? He clumps us all together. So a lot of these individuals that you thought, hey, he ain't been in the camp 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years. Man, Esau gonna try them, man. I give you whatever. I'll go to the camp. I'll be sincere. The one that I kiss, the one that I put the hat on. You know, he'll sew your ass out, man. You know. You got something. Then we're gonna jump into. Let's get into the.
Yeah.
27.
No, let's go ahead and get to the article first.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
This is Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 5. It says, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape.
It was him. Like Yahweh Shai, how they did Yahweh Shai. They said that basically he was a terrorist, that he said that he was going to destroy the temple. You know what I'm saying? Those are false witnesses. And it's going to be plenty of false witnesses. You know, because we live in a time too where everybody's looking for their 15 minutes of fame, man. So you got to be mindful of that too. How you move through the world, what you say to people, what you don't say to people. Every interaction that you have, especially in the position that we're in, you got to be mindful of how you move. The scriptures tell you, be not as those fools, walk circumspectly. Was that Ephesians 5 and 15? You got to walk circumspectly. You're gonna have old Jake that's going, yeah, I knew it was something wrong about him. Now they on live talking shit. You know what I'm saying? A random person.
Real quick.
Just a random person, like a girl that you dealt with. I didn't even do nothing with her. But all these characters, you gotta be mindful of what you give a person. Your brothers, your sisters, biological brothers and sisters I'm talking. Your mother, your father. You gotta be mom. You can't lay it so thick on like, yeah, mom. You know, this is where I teach at. I teach here from this time to that time. You know, everybody needs to be on a needs to know basis. You see? Keep going.
Yep. Verse 6, many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts.
See, I'll die for you, man. But yeah, that's a solid one. There's plenty of movies that show you this, man. How many movies show you where these characters, they be gangsters or whatever, and Tekashi 6ix9ine. You see, he was blooded in. Everything was Treyway this and Treyway that. As soon as a little bit of pressure came on him, he folded, man. Him, well, really him, and her. He just told on the whole team. A little bit of pressure. And you got to understand with Esau too. The scriptures tell us. Matter of fact, go to Amos 5 and 13. And where's that scripture where it says, "Think not what you shall say in that very hour."
It's in
Yeah, get that too. Because Esau, even in these movies and stuff, hey man, don't say shit. You know what I'm saying? Keep your mouth closed. Because Esau's not that smart when it comes to the research. Esau basically, he waits for you to open your mouth and tell on your own goddamn self. But that's where the pressure, you feel that pressure, you're like, oh my God, he said that he's gonna throw my child away. All right, okay. I gotta tell you what you need. All right, listen, that brother, here's his phone number. You live over here. Listen, matter of fact, yeah, I got an extra key to his house. What? See, too much trust. All right, go ahead with what you got.
Come, this is Amos 5 and 13. Therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time.
Yeah, don't look to justify yourself. Because when you open your mouth, Esau not really, he's looking for you slip up so he can pin it on you. Like, nah, well, you said that. That's why you want to know. So where were you at 5:15 on Tuesday?
If I can say
Of course.
something, if you notice a lot of people who talk a lot, you always catch them in a lie. You know, you always catch them in something because they always running their mouth.
That's right. See?
You know?
Too many words. Keep your speech short. All right? It was it on that?
Come,
That was it on that one?
come.
Oh, slap.
And if I can say
Of
too,
course.
the scriptures also say there's a time and place for everything, you know. And those times, man, just keep silence and follow the spirit, you know, in that day. You ain't got time to be ranting at your brothers, man. You know, this is a time of salvation, you know, especially in the days of Jacob's trouble. You know, they'll be ranting out when Esau come down on you. Hey, look, man, look, we ain't gonna do nothing to you. Nah, man, because Esau is your enemy. He's always gonna deceive you anyway. Here it is, you might snitch up your brothers, and he might just pull the trigger on you, shoot you. And that's actually judgment from the Lord, too.
They show it in the movies. They're showing, but there's some movies where, like, they'll try to get, you know, the main character Jake, but he'll keep his integrity. He's like, and that dude, he's like, man, if I tell you, you're gonna kill me anyway, so forget that. You know what I'm saying?
Kill me.
Kill me.
Kill me. You know?
But I got that in Matthew.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 10. Man, I'll start at 16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Verse 17, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues.
Yeah, they're gonna wear you out with the words. Basically, tell us what you know. Give us information on this brother. Give us information on that man. What you know about him? Listen, we got a fat case on you, man.
Yeah. Hey, Esau court system is real tricky, man. That's why, like how you were saying before, you know, if a guy, you know, did any dirt or crime, you know, and the police or whatever give them, they're not gonna say nothing until their lawyer get there.
Yeah.
Because if they do, they'll get themselves in trouble. All because Esau court system is all determined on by what you say or what you did.
That's right. The Miranda rights. Anything you say or do will be used against you in the court of law.
You have the right to remain silent. So exercise your right. You know?
Hey, shit. Paul, when you read the book of Philippians, he tells us pretty much to be a citizen, and also he exercises right as a Roman citizen. I got, before I continue this,
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
because it said, I'm going to read Matthew 10 and 17 again. It says, be beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the council, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. Now, going back to the word betray in the etymology, it said prove false, violate by unfaithfulness, but it also says for a definition, deliver or expose to the power of an enemy by treachery. All right? It says mislead and deceive and delude. So we know the word what? Deceive is a devil. All right? The ones who betray or have a devilish intent or motive behind what they're doing. But it's all, you know, spirit that the Lord puts on them. So verse 18, it says, and ye shall be brought before the governors, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Verse 19, it says, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. So shut your mouth, man. All right? When Yahushua went up, and he had to go through his situation. Pilate said, you're the king of the Jews, right? Thou sayest. And then he went on with it.
Yeah.
He didn't say a word. Like me and the brother, the Captain Arbor was speaking before, they gave him gold, piss, you know what I'm saying, to drink, and vinegar, mixed with vinegar out of the sponge. And then they beat him.
Crown of thorns.
The crown of thorns. They were mocking him, put the robe of purple on him. You know what I'm saying? They took his raiment.
Plucked his beard.
Plucked his, you know, all that, man. Read Isaiah the 53rd chapter, man. It even goes deeper into it. But he just said 2 words.
He didn't look to justify himself.
He didn't look to justify it because he was finishing the mission. He's like, this is the part of the mission where I just need to shut up. The only thing Yahweh wanted him to say was thou sayest. That's it. And of course he said something when he was on the cross, but the mission was pretty much done there.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You know? So, but all he said was thou sayest. So when there's some, like, this is a lot that we're reading. Some men might be in it. Some men might be in the lot of Jeremiah 16 and 16. But if you're in this specific lot, just wait for what the Spirit gives you to say.
Right.
Be 100% vessel. All right?
With that, what you just said, it's important that you believe. You know, you actually got to believe that the Spirit is going to take over. You know, because you never know when it's going to happen. You know, that's why it's important to believe and just and have that patience, man.
That's having faith.
Yeah, faith.
And that's why we go through these situations right now, because it's just a training room for when we actually enter into the war, you know, or the war before it goes to the next level, you know. But since you read that, I got a precept I wanted this brother to bring out to that.
Oh, okay, come on.
Come, this is the wisdom of Solomon, 1 and verse 11.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable.
Yeah, you know that typically you got to watch for those type of men within the body. You know, that murmuring spirit, because a Jake that's heavily into murmuring, that's unprofitable speech.
Yeah.
So when a Jake is always in your face and in your ear, he wanna keep you on the phone for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? They always want to talk. That's not talking, especially if it's not a spiritual thing. Now, don't get me wrong. You might be on the phone with a brother and be on the phone with a brother an hour, 2 hours, and it's a spiritual. It says we live. I think we're good.
It's there, bro.
You sure?
Yeah, it's back on.
It's back on. Okay, we'll just keep it moving. Read that again, brother.
Come, this is the wisdom of Solomon, 1 and 11. Therefore, beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable.
Yeah, it's unprofitable speech. You know, the scriptures say our godly conversation. You know, still doing it.
No, we are.
Oh, we good. Okay, slack you.
That's what it's saying.
You know, I just want to make sure. But you know that you know the scriptures speak about having that godly conversation, letting everything be done unto edification. So when you're dealing with the men of the Lord, everything should be building. You know, but that unprofitable, you know, Jake that in that murmuring spirit is because why? They're trying to get intel on you, man. And they might not even know that it's necessarily in the spirit of trying to get intel on you. But they move it in the sense of a snake. All right? Keep going.
Come, it says, and refrain your tongue from refrain your tongue from backbiting. For there is no word so secret that shall go for naught.
See? They don't stay with it. And on top of it, from my own experience, Jake that be in that murmuring spirit, they don't last long. Because everything that's done in the dark comes to the light, man. All right? Now let's jump into
The article.
Let me finish.
Is some more? Yeah, you can finish that.
Come.
The March.
All right,
Ides of March. Let's go into that.
Come and finish the precept. It says, and the mouth that belieth slayeth the soul.
See? And that's their goal in it. You know, when a person betrays you, that's the ultimate level of pain they're trying to bring to you. You know, it's one thing, you know, it's one thing if somebody that you don't know brings ill your way, you can accept it better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if like, for instance, if a woman, let's just say I just met a chick like last week and she do me dirty, then it's like, man, whatever. I don't even know her. I expected that, you know. But when you with a woman and y'all been together 10 years, children, things, assets together, and she do you dirty, that'll leave you in a hurtful place because you put your trust in somebody.
Got some
Oh, bring it out.
You know, to back up what you're saying. This is Psalms 55 and 12. It said, for it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man of mine equal, my God and mine acquaintance.
See? See, it's easier. We expect Esau to roll on us. That's what we expected. We expected for Esau to roll on us. We expected Esau to slander us, paint us as the evil person. We expect all that. But you do not expect it from even in these other camps. You know, we speaking about men that's close to you, but at the same time, you're going to have a lot of men in these other camps selling out GMS. Nah, it wasn't us. Nah. You got the wrong Israelites. Think about it. When they put that pressure on these other, nah, we don't teach the chip. No, we don't believe that the so-called white man is the devil. We don't, no, that's GMS. GMS Atlanta, they over there. That's betrayal right there. That even though we don't personally know each other, even though I don't know you in IUIC, ISUPK, HOI, whatever camp, you know, but the very fact that you would betray your own brother, your own kinsman, that's still off. We wouldn't. I believe. I sure as hell would not. If I'm in the hot seat. No. It was ISUPK. Them. Get them. Is that what?
You could correct me if I'm wrong, but even so, like if I was in that position and they asked me about any of these camps, you know, I like I said, like the captain said, I wouldn't rat them out because I don't really care. I'm not saying care for them, but it's like I have nothing to do with them. So what do you want me to say?
But but the scriptures speak about not giving an answer on something that you don't have an answer to. I can't tell you nothing about them because I don't know them. So I can't. So therefore, what would that be if you did that? You would be bearing false witness. But see, a lot of men, they don't, and we have to increase in being better as judges. Because you don't understand, like little things like that can have you going off in the spirit, man. Like answering questions you don't have an answer to. Oh, well now you're in judgment of bearing false witness on that man. You're slandering. All these things. Now you just rolling down the wrong path. That's why it's easier to just stand still and keep your mouth shut.
The scriptures say, "Strive not in the matter that concerneth thee not." So if it don't concern you, it's like I ain't got nothing to do with that, so I ain't got nothing to say.
See, don't let the pressure that's gonna come make you lose your integrity, man. Okay, was there more to that?
Yeah, it was a little bit more.
Yeah, let's get
it. Says, but it was thou, a man, my own equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together and walked into the house of Yahweh Shem Yahushua in company.
He said you could deal with it if it was somebody that was an enemy.
Right.
Like you expect the enemy to do such. But a man that, you know, you be right, like a man that come in your house, been in the car with you, you went to battle with him, you went to camp with him, you don't put money in his pocket, he might have put money in your pocket. That's why you gotta be mindful of all those things. The scriptures tell us this. A gift destroyeth the heart. Sometimes men will, hey brother, you all right? You need some money? Hey man, I got you, bro. Yeah, hey, take this. You all right? You hungry? Come on, man. Let's go get something to eat. Because why? They trying to butter you up, and then next thing you know, you just fork and knife at the steak. Just brother. You know, man. Yeah, you know this brother. He told you know this. You done just took the bait. You didn't even realize. Like damn. Yeah, you brothers ever see the other guy? Will Ferrell?
Yeah, in Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, you remember the scene where the guy was trying to buy the I was like, no, I understand. How about 2 tickets courtside to the Knicks? And they were like, the Knicks?
They was in that thing.
And then they be at the game, right? In the movie, they be at the game sitting next to each other like a celebrity vibe. Like, go Knicks. They're like, man, he got us, man. We got to get up. And they go back to the place and talk to him. He be like, yo, how about 2 tickets to this show? They be like, and they be at the show enjoying, like, he got us, man. You know, to the point where they were like, man, no more cucumber waters, no more tickets. Man, this is what we here for, man, because it's easy to be bought out, man. You think Judas Iscariot wanted to necessarily do that? He had a spirit where he was already looking for something, and that little bit of buying out, it didn't take much. Even when you break down how much money he got, it really wasn't a lot of money, man.
And if I may say, like, it's crazy how the Lord had everything set up. Not really crazy, but it was mastermind. Because who was in control of the bag? It was Judas in the first place. So he probably already had like a lust of money demon on him in the first place. Because he was holding like the tithes and stuff of the entire camp. You know, because when you read, I think in the book of John, it says the one who had the bag, which was Judas. You know, he
was like the treasurer. You know, so like you said, he probably had that. Satan knows how to tempt you, and that's what's going to happen in that day. Esau through the spiritual demon, Satan knows each and every last one. Your demon might be food. Yeah, brother, you know, filet mignon, and it's in the middle of a famine, or you know, no food. You ain't ate in 5 days. It's filet. You know that you're gonna bring out that Chili's plate. It's sizzling.
Ain't got no pork in it.
Ain't no pork. You know the plate sizzling and all kind of fragrancy and stuff.
this is pure.
You know, nice mashed potatoes, and you ain't ate nothing but graham crackers over the last few days, stale. But he done gave you filet mignon, some green beans, a nice glass of red wine. That might be your demon.
You turn first 48, man.
You gonna turn you know, just fork the steak knife, and but man,
have that napkin in your shirt.
What you need? You know,
they right over there. You know, thank you.
Or it might be women. That's why the spirit is so heavy on you, us defeating the flesh, man.
That's right.
Because whatever your fleshly lust is, that's how Satan gonna attack you. If it's women, in that day he might bring three of the baddest chicks in that you've ever seen. Satan know what you like. Be tailor-made to your liking. Like, goddamn. Next thing you know, pillow talked your ass into selling out the crew, man.
Now you say so.
Yeah.
Delilah, exactly. You just got Delilah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? Oh, money. You might never seen as much gold. So it's so many ways. That's why you gotta know yourself, self-examine, and see what could this devil use to tempt me, and that's what you gotta defeat. All right. Any more to that?
That was it.
If that's it on that, let's what you had?
Oh, I was just trying to look.
Okay, so let's get into the
Ides of March.
the Ides of March. I'm gonna get it right, man.
This is from the website zerohedge.com. The title of the article is "The Pentagon's Ides of March, Best Month to Go to War."
Mm-hmm.
It says, these are ongoing military threats against Venezuela. Is the U.S.-sponsored war contemplated for March 2019? It says, various scenarios are envisaged.
What is that?
Envisaged?
What?
Right here.
Yeah, I think so.
Envisaged by Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So far, there is no firm evidence regarding the nature of timeline of a U.S.-sponsored military operation directed against Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Says National Security Advisor John Bolton, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo have confirmed their intent to wage war on Iran. Let me go to here. It says, in recent history from Vietnam War to the present, the month of March has been chosen by Pentagon and NATO military planners as the best month to go to war.
Why is that? Now go to Revelation 17,
Come.
and when you get Revelation 13 and 3, Revelation 13 and 3, and Revelation 17, and go to 8.
Come. This is Revelation 17 and verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition.
Mm-hmm. That's talking about America. All right, keep going.
Come. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life
Yep, keep going.
from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman setteth.
Yeah, the 7 heads going into Germania, Major, Minor, the Greeks, the Romans, the French, British, and the Spanish. So that's the 7 heads, those 7 mountains. All right, and then keep going.
Come. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet to come.
Mm-hmm.
And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
Yep.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th.
The 7th, the 8th of the 7th is America. That came out of the 7th, which is Britain. Okay? Keep going.
Come and goeth into perdition.
Yeah, America's going into perdition. Destruction. But how is that destruction coming? By war, by the sword, okay? Keep going.
Come, I'm going to continue. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10
The
kings.
10 horns goes into NATO. The NATO, EU, that's the beast. So we're reading about the U.S. NATO-driven wars, and they're using the month of March. Where does the word March even come from? The word March is a Roman word.
I got it right here.
You got it? Go ahead.
It says, lest we forget, the month of March in the Roman calendar is dedicated to Mars, Martius, the Roman god of war.
The Roman god of war. Now go to Revelation 13 and 3.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast.
Now that deadly wound that was healed is the ancient Roman Empire coming back. This is the last leg of the Roman Empire. That's why we're speaking of the historical accounts of this month of March going into back then, tying into today. This is another point to prove to you that America is based upon the ancient Rome. Why do we call out this month March? Going back to the Roman god Mars, the god of war. Why does all these U.S. NATO conflicts done in the month of March? It's a religious a religious ritual done towards the god of war.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead,
So
brother.
if I can say too, like I was speaking before we called on the camera, the Lord really is way ahead of us, man.
Oh,
Because here it is, they prepared the month of March for their war, but what is in a month in their March is our Passover, which what we doing? We trimming, and we preparing for it, man.
that's it.
You know,
That's it.
so that's how you know, man, that the Lord had already had this thing planned out. Man.
Because it already tells us in Exodus 15 and what 3 that the Lord is a man of war. He's the ultimate man of war. So if he wants to bring in his new, because the Ides, the Ides of March, right, goes into this is like the brother just said, the month of March, which is the month of war. You know, all of this is tied in together. You know, you said you had one, right?
Did you bring out Revelation 13?
Yeah, he brought it out already.
Okay. I just wanted to get like a backstory of the Ides of March.
Yeah, get it.
This is from the book. It's called The Roman Empire. If you want to read it, it's by Philip Matizak. Some weird Edomite name there. But it says, I'm going to read fairly swiftly. It says the Ides of March. It says Caesar was the generation, and this is Julius Caesar, was a generation which had seen parents, uncles, and other relatives butchered in the strife between Sulla and Marius. He had no intentions of following this path and consequently made a point of accepting the surrender of any Roman who yielded to him in the Civil War. This was during the Roman Republic.
Yeah, because this date was when the Roman Republic was actually transitioned into the Roman Empire.
That's right. And the first emperor that's the spirit, Yahushua came in during the first emperor of the Roman Empire, Augustus. It says, though defeated, many of those who had surrendered were far from reconciled, meaning they're still holding a grudge, getting ready to betray. It says the leader of this faction was a young man, Marcus Brutus, who was allegedly a descendant of the legendary Brutus who had expelled the last of the kings of Rome. Right, because Rome used to be a monarchy starting all the way from Romulus and Remus.
Yeah.
It says the fact that Caesar had a long-standing adulterous relationship with Brutus's mother, that's betrayal right there.
Yeah, see certain lines you don't cross, man.
These Edomites, man.
And that's why when we thought about this video and tying it up into to modern times, you can see in the spirit that this is what Esau is going through right now in his government of Babylon, man, the U.S. federal government. It's all kind of hatred for each other. They're so split. They're so against each other that it ain't nothing for one of these other higher ups to possibly stick a knife in the back of Trump's back, man.
Well, if I may say too, even the Satan versus Satan, but this is also the cause of him coming against us, because he knows the Bible too, and how Jacob supplanted.
Yeah.
He takes that as betrayal. You know,
That's
therefore, that's why he thinks he's gonna come back and quote unquote make us betray one another when we get brought up to the synagogues and governors. He's gonna make us try to do it to ourselves, but it ain't gonna go down like that, man.
Yeah, all right, that's a good point.
The Lord's gonna put the words in our mouths to speak.
That's
you know,
right.
To start planting your ass back.
Yeah.
We can't supplant the supplanter, just like you can't supplant the supplanter, just like we're not gonna pick up carnal weapons and fight the one who's the king of the carnal weapons.
That's it right there.
We're not about to do that. So, but your dumbass is. It says the fact that Caesar had a long-standing adulterous relationship with Brutus's mother had may have added to his animosity. May have.
No,
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
he wanted some kickback, man.
Yep. So here's the point of the matter. It says the conspirators struck on the Ides of March, that is the 15th of March, when Caesar was attending the Senate. Mark Antony, Caesar's supporter and powerful fighter, was delayed outside by a ruse while the senators attacked the Caesar with daggers they had concealed under their.
Now keep in mind, with this, it's known as the fifth, because Ides, it's 15. It's the number 15 in Latin, or it means 15. But even so, you got to keep in mind, because this event was occurring around about the time of the Passover, because the Passover is the 14th day of the month. Right, which is when you that would be like your third Sabbath, which would be like would be a full moon. But see, right now which if you go into the history of it, the ancient Roman during that time period before the Gregorian, because you had the Julian calendar, then the Julian calendar went to the Gregorian calendar, which was a sun base. But the Julian, why we even speak of the Ides being the 15th, which was really based on the full moon, that's how you know that the 15th right now is not necessarily the right 15th.
Yep.
It's not, because what would have brought in you had the Ides, and I forget the other two names, but their calendar was based on the new moon, the full moon, and another one. Because it was like certain, you get what I'm saying? How we don't count like, there's no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in ours. It's the 7th day, which is the first Sabbath, the 4th, it was the same kind of calendar. So all of this was happening, this period of the full moon, or this period of March, or the new year, it's a real heavy time. I just want to throw that out there too, because really today is not necessarily it's not really the Ides of March, although they're saying it's the 15th. They're basing this off of a solar calendar. But no, the new moon, or not the moon, I keep saying the new moon, but what I mean is the full moon it's till next week, because the Passover, because it tells you that when Yahweh was crucified, that the sun was darkened. And it would have to be, to have that type of eclipse, you got to have a full moon.
If I can say, because
go ahead.
even right here, I looked up the Julian calendar. It said the Gregorian calendar would be the 14th March 2019, like today, and the Julian would be the 1st of March 2019 today. So that's the difference.
The differences.
Yeah.
See, it's all this stuff is that's just us being studied men in the spirit, But keep going to that with the
article.
Yeah, the article. And also a little, I don't know if it's going to touch on it in there, but when you go into the history of what happened with Julius Caesar, on the 1st of the month, he met with his
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got that?
Well, I know what you mean. I don't know. You can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like they read him the Book of Daniel.
Oh,
no,
no.
Salaki. That was Alexander.
That was Alexander the Greek. But with Julius Caesar, he went to his his priests, because Rome had all those different religious their own high holy days, so to speak.
But they told him he was going.
They told him that he was going to die 15 days prior to the Ides of March. He was already told by his witches and warlocks, because he sacrificed a bull, as the historical count goes, and there was no heart in the bull. And the lady told her that basically he was going to die 15 days, and 15 days later or 14 days later, he died. So it was all prophetic. Like you said, Yahweh was alive during the first Caesar of Rome. All those things go hand in hand. So this is a real heavy time period, Even if we go into the point of ancient Egypt, man, yeah, we going into the Passover. What was going up until the Passover? It was all kind of plagues and things happening, man. So this is a heavy time of the year,
With different seasons.
We're changing seasons. Like you said, you go from winter, where it's like everybody's in hibernation mode, to it's spring, you feel alive, you want to do stuff. It's the same thing,
It says, with the exception of war of Afghanistan, October 2001, and the 1990 through 1991 Gulf War, all major U.S., NATO, and allied-led military operations over a period of more than half a century since the invasion of the Vietnam by U.S. ground forces on March 8, 1965, have been initiated in the month of March.
So damn near all the wars started by the U.S.-NATO connection have all been started in the month of March. That's not a coincidence. We already read Revelation 17, showing you that this beast, the fourth beast, the 7 heads and 10 horns, representing the NATO and EU, right? And the beast and the whore that rode upon it, America, is all biblical prophecy. Then we read in Revelation 13 that head that was wounded is the ancient Roman Empire coming right back. So, come on, anybody that's saying that America's not in the Bible, anybody that's saying that America's not Babylon the Great, because Revelation 17 later on tells you that the woman that sat amongst many waters is Babylon the Great. All right, keep going.
It says the Ides of March, Ides Martiae, is a day in the Roman calendar which broadly corresponds to March. The Ides of March is also known as the date on which Julius Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC.
And all, like we were going, the brother was reading in the book, that was when, what was it again? It was, what was it, B, started with a B? Brutus. Marcus Brutus. That's when they had set up that event and they all killed him. And every last person that was, I think, part of the Senate, they all took the dagger because they all wanted that blood on their hands. It's like, nah, if you might go and tell. So, nah, I need to see you do it so I can say that you did it too. So everybody stabbed him, man. All right, and that was the beginning of what? The transitioning of the Roman Empire into the Roman Empire, I should say, correct? Yeah, keep going.
That's right. After that happened, then because they said they distracted Marcus Antony outside, that's when the second triumphant came, which was a transition into the Herodian dynasty, as well as the new Roman Empire with Octavian, who changed his name to Augustus. That's when the new empire started running. When emperors started running the Roman Empire.
I'm gonna keep going. It says, for the Romans, the month of March marked the time to start new military campaigns. As in the heyday of the Roman Empire, the U.S. Department of Defense has a mandate to plan and implement a precise timeline of military operations. Like we said, it's not a coincidence that all these wars, and things, and plagues or whatever, happening in the month of March, man. And ultimately it's set up by Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah, because in the spirit of things, the Lord has, like you say, he has the ultimate timeline in his head. This is when I want certain things to happen. I want wars to happen in this season. I want, like you said, there's a time and a place for everything. So the Lord has in the spiritual thing, the spiritual side of it all, the Lord has, this is when wars are going to be started. This is when this is going to happen, and so on and so forth. Keep going.
I'm gonna jump down.
Yeah.
It says, March 23rd, which coincides with the beginning of spring, was the day Romans celebrated the start of the military campaign and war fighting season. It says, it says timeline of March, U.S. military interventions. It says recent history confirms that, with the exception of Afghan, I read that already. It says the Vietnam War. The U.S. Congress adopted the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, which also authorized President Lyndon Johnson to dispatch ground forces to Vietnam on March 8, 1965. NATO war on Yugoslavia. NATO's war on Yugoslavia was launched on March 24th of 1999.
You get Matthew 24 and Rumors of War. Can I tell them? 24. As a matter of fact, hold on, we're going to get this precept. Because everybody has this idea that the Lord is not about war. All right? Scriptures say, think not that I shall send peace, but a sword. And sudden destruction too. That's another. Okay? You got it?
Yeah. This is Matthew 24:6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled."
Yeah, see, us, we're not troubled by this because it's biblical prophecy. All right, all this conflict that's in the air right now, and don't be surprised if it bubbles over while we're still in the month of March. You see what's happening? We open up the article with Venezuela. All right.
I think at the beginning of the month, Donald Trump and Kim
That's right. They met. They had a meeting.
And he walked out.
He walked out. See?
I think that was the beginning of this month. Late last month.
We can't forget. I don't say Rome. The Russians, the choir.
Oh yeah, the Russian choir.
Burn America. That's a taunting proverb.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Matter of fact, when you go to Isaiah 14 and is that 14 and 11?
Come on.
I think a taunting proverb against the king of Babylon. Is there more to that, or you finished that?
Yeah, there was some more. It says, "See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet."
Yeah. Don't be troubled, man. Sit back and enjoy the show. All right, because it's going to become a real lot. We're about to really see war like we've never seen before. All right, and a lot of us, we've never really experienced. I mean, you know, even during what we're reading now, what happened in the early 2000s, you know, in Afghanistan, that didn't really affect us. We've been, you know, so drunken on bread and circus that we don't know about war. We don't really know about Vietnam and how that affected American lives. You know, you want to say something?
I just want to just imagine us knowing that war and death is coming to America, and we're preparing the spirit, but these people out here who don't even know, hey man, they got a rude awakening coming, man.
And rude awakening is an understatement, man. Because, like you said, these people, they don't believe it, man. They've been so drunken off of this Babylonian juice that they don't believe that, what are they, you know, America, the untouchable force.
Yeah, and all these different wars is happening in other countries, and not in America. They just got so comfortable.
Yep.
You know, just being able to walk and go to the mall,
Yeah.
to walk out,
Watch your Netflix all day.
Movies and watch Netflix. Like that movie, what was it?
Red Dawn.
That's a good one too.
Brunswick.
Bushwick.
Hey, it's gonna happen like that in America, but it's gonna be 10 times worse.
It ain't gonna just be.
It ain't gonna be
It ain't gonna be a neighborhood. It ain't just gonna be a neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the whole America like that.
Every
state and every city, like the brother brought up, Red Dawn. When you watch that movie in Red Dawn, you had the guy. He was a soldier. He had just came back home. Went to Applebee's. You know what I'm saying? Went to the local city football game, the high school football game. Went to Applebee's and had a beer. Went home and laid down.
Makes you know these Koreans.
Next thing you know, it's fucking Koreans coming out of the sky, man. And it's gonna be just like that.
And you could tell in this place, man, everybody lost hope. You know, once you get real comfortable, it's like no hope. You just submit. You know, you don't know about the spiritual side of things, the spiritual what is going on. And you don't know what's happening around you. The prophecy as far as war, you know, rumors of wars that brother mentioned earlier.
That's it.
And I got a precept.
Yeah, bring it up, shit.
This is Exodus 15. This is what you quoted earlier.
Yeah, that's good.
Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. And that lets you know the Lord is about war. You know, he's coming back with vengeance and blood. He's coming back to destroy America off the face of the earth. You know?
It's like the scripture say, paraphrase, I kill and I destroy.
I kill and I destroy.
So,
Yeah.
The Lord does all this. So when we say war is coming to America, and war is happening now, hey, it's the Lord who's guiding it, man. He's just setting everything up, man.
There's no other reason why the scriptures would continually call him Lord of Hosts. All right, meaning the Lord of Armies. Why would he even have an army? Why does he have generals, aka the archangels? All right. Why does he have someone to come and bid his work, the Hawashai? Because he wants a little fight. You know, whether it's an hour or not, which is, you know, it's going to be fairly quickly. I have what you call
Let him bring this out real quick and then we'll get that.
This is Revelations 11 and 14, it says, the second war is past, and behold, the third war cometh quickly.
Yeah, so you have these scoffer Israelites, aka soon to be betrayers. You know, can't even call them scoffers no more. Scoffers gonna be upgraded to betrayers.
Yeah.
Man, you know, is the scriptures are speaking of wars, World War I, World War II, and World War III that's coming. All right. How is it that two of the most important wars in American history, World War I and World War II, is nowhere to be found in the scriptures? Those two wars played a major part in what we have today and what conflicts are occurring, which is all biblical prophecy. There wouldn't be a gathering in the Valley of Jehoshaphat if it wasn't for the first World War I and World War II that led to where we are today. So the Lord is a man of war. And this next war to come is going to be so bad that it's going to have men fighting the demon of betraying each other. You see? All right, now you have one, right?
Yeah, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and 6.
Come on.
It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his?
And that's all you've been seeing in the month of March so far, like we said. Russian, taunting parable. The choir singing burn, baby, burn, man. You know, and putting America in it. That's beef.
Like the video, I think you just put one up and says, white on white crime.
Oh yeah, white on white crime, man.
Because what we see as the taunting proverbs, that's Edomite choir singing about another Edomite, maybe another Duke of Edom.
They betraying each other.
Betraying each other. There's a whole lot of betrayal in the air, god dang it.
Yeah.
All right.
Esau deceiving each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, Esau wanted. Hell, when you Edomites, as it says in what was that, Psalms 62, about his own tongue shall come against him. That's betrayal.
Yep.
You Edomites are betraying each other.
Yep.
So, like you said, betrayal is in the air because of that pressure, man. Okay. Now,
I'll finish this off. It says, how long, and to him that ladeth himself a thick clay, which is, that economic collapse.
and that thick clay is gonna make. Listen, when your pockets is when your pockets is thin, when you ain't got no money, no food, the basics and essentials of life, it becomes a lot easier to sell somebody out. The bare necessities, as the brother said, So again, Esau is not gonna have no problem selling out Esau. Yeah, Esau did it. He did it. Jacob ain't gonna have no problem selling. As scriptures tell you that too. You're gonna have mothers selling out the daughter-in-laws, the sons selling out the fathers.
Well, that's what Yahushua.
Yep, he prophesied. He told us that in prophecy. Your foes shall be of a family that betrayed each other. A lot of betrayal. You got to be mindful of this. But again, what does the scriptures also say that we have to be mindful of? The scriptures tell us to render not evil for evil. Yahushua didn't do it, so we can't do it either. We can't just be in the spirit of, oh, word, you sold me out? All right, well, fuck, nigga, you did this too. You don't get the, what I'm saying? A man of integrity doesn't get the pass to do such a thing.
If I may say, this will actually show you how to exercise turning the other cheek. Okay, when you betrayed or whatnot, and you have that quote unquote opportunity, which means a chance for advancement, to do the same thing back. This is when you turn the other cheek and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. He may have said this about me, this, that, and betrayed me and sold me out and delivered me up to you, but I don't know nothing about it. Whatever. I ain't got nothing to say.
Because that's how Esau get into the ears of these niggas when they arrest them. What do? The first thing Esau do when he arrests two niggas off the street, separate them. Separate them and make them sit in their thoughts. Put you in this room, put you in this room. And they gonna come in there and they gonna lie. Well, your boy, he said this, he said that. And if you don't got no mind frame of thinking, you're not a critical thinker, you don't trust, if you don't have trust, you'll be like, oh, word, he said that. And I knew that nigga was gonna sell me. Matter of fact, he got this, go to the house, he got yada, 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 yada. And the man over there, he ain't say nothing about you.
Nothing.
But you took the cheese, man.
Smoother than butter.
Matter of fact, get that too. There's that Psalms
58.
58. That's it.
Just mentally destroyed you.
Just got you, man.
Yeah, just, man.
That's
Just
the
ultimately
ultimate
deceived.
book.
Come on, man. Here it is. You don't call yourself a prophet and you fall for the goddamn good cop, bad cop trick, man. don't fall for that, man. All right. I just, don't get me wrong. Like, I've never been tortured and beat up and all that. So I pray the Lord put the spirit on me to resist it. But bro, don't fall for the good cop, bad cop, man. All right. You got it.
Well, I can grab this one. This Psalms 58 and 3. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Mm-hmm.
It said, their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Yeah, so what makes you think in that time that's a time to really trust Esau? If we're prepping our minds right now to not trust Esau at all right now, it sure as hell not to trust him in the time of Jacob's trouble. When we're really, at that point, you should be turned up in the spirit and know, shit, yeah, it's going down. But you know what? We really almost out of here, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't got shit to say to you, Esau. I ain't got nothing to say because we almost out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like your brothers ever see the movie 30 Days a Night? Well, in the movie, the guy, he wanted to be a vampire. He was talking to a cop, and the cop was asking questions. He was like, man, I don't talk to dead men. He said, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You already dead. That's the spirit you got to be with Esau. Like, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You got slavery coming your way.
Yeah.
You know?
Talking to you, slave.
Right.
Yeah, bring it out.
Kind of got that precept too.
I'm gonna bring this out.
Yeah,
Just the back of your point. This is Matthew 5 and 11. It says, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
You broke that
And that was, basically going into what the brother said, man. At that point, shit, it ain't no need of, goddamn being all feeble and bitching up. We almost out of here.
Yeah, and
Man,
we know
tell
what's gonna
Esau,
happen.
yeah, man, tell Esau, man, F him to his face, man,
Yeah.
and just be turned up, man.
It's like, it's like, what do I have to say that the prophecies haven't already spoke?
Right.
I don't have to say anything. You see everything happening in the Psalms. What you're doing right now is a prophecy. So I have really nothing to say.
He even said, he has a reward for you in heaven. It's like, in that time, you're about to get out of there. You know your reward is like right around the corner. Your house shop's about to crack the sky and everything. Like, bro, just take the
Hey, what's the point of, like, at that point you gotta think, what are you really gaining by betraying your brother in that moment?
Yeah.
But you gonna go back to your house and go play,
Right.
PS4
Right.
and keep it moving and go eat some chicken? No. At that point, like literally when we get to the point of being grabbed up, that means it's all hell out here. So where are you going back to?
What is that lose? You ain't.
The scriptures say in Sirach 51, the last verse, I think like 30, it says, work your work B times, and in his time, he'll give you his reward, your reward. So in that day, Jacob's trouble, God dang it, that's his time. So our reward is like there.
Yeah.
Our reward is there. We'll finally get to pull that crown out that we've been holding on to the whole time and give it to Yahweh Shai for him to put it on our heads.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
In the world of niggas, different, like you got individuals like Larry Hoover, these individuals that they consider stand-up guys, OGs. Their name is forever written in the history of that world because they're considered stand-up individuals. What more a man of the Lord that stands up at that moment? You get what I'm saying? Like, if Jake can stand up and be a stand-up or have integrity, and if I use that loosely, in that moment, and be forever remembered, be forever immortalized in that world where we still talk about these different individuals, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? What more are you at that moment? Don't live in the moment or live in the, keep your head. And that's why you can't be as Lot's wife, man. Don't be looking back. Because when you be in that spirit of looking back, that's what you snitching for, or you going to betray your brother for.
You know, the Revelation 14 and 4, and it talks the elect being as virgins.
Yeah.
All right?
So,
And the brother's been using the word integrity. The word integrity literally means blamelessness or innocent. So the moment you betray and you lose your integrity, you lose that essence of being blameless.
Ooh, that's true, bro.
You lose the essence of being blameless. You lose the essence of being innocent. You lose your chastity. All right, because we're likened as women. You pretty much quote unquote lose your virginity. You know what I'm saying? To another philosophy.
Yeah.
So the moment you betray, your integrity is compromised. You're not blameless anymore. So that automatically puts you in the role of a 2/3. That's your lot now.
Blood is on you, man.
The blood is on you. That's your lot, because even if you betray, like the scriptures say, we mentioned it very briefly in the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter. It says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness." That's a betraying type act. So you're already breaking one of the first 10 of the 10 commandments. One of the things that you should be holding. So your integrity is gone. So you're definitely not in the lot of Revelation 14:4. No more.
Just because you just couldn't, you know, you couldn't, they applied that pressure on you and you broke, man.
Just to land back on the point that you made about, you know, in the nigger world, the OG Larry Hoovers, but in the world of the truth, you know, we got the prophets and disciples, man. And what the scriptures say, let us now praise famous men that were before us, and we still talking about Paul and how he was blameless, man, how he had integrity thousands of years later, man.
That's it.
You know, we still bringing up the acts of Paul, of Timothy, you know, Yahweh Shah, of Moses, Job, you know.
Hey, but on the
Job,
flip side, Judas.
Huh?
Judas' name went down. Hey, Judas is a serious character within the scriptures. But it's not for righteousness. It's for left-handed dealings, man. Betrayal. When you think of betrayal in the scriptures, you think of Judas. Judas's name is synonymous with betrayal in the Bible.
God.
You got people out here that don't know the Bible, but when you ask them about Judas Iscariot, oh
Rap clown.
he sold Jesus Christ out on the Last Supper. They'll have their own little vision of what was happening, but the fact of his name is sour, man, because he didn't keep his integrity. He sold out Yahweh Shai for whatever his reasons were, whether it was good or bad. Even with this whole thing with Tekashi 6ix9ine, I'm not making it that thing, but you have people that'll say, well, yeah, he snitched, but it's because of this. And you have people that'll be like, yeah, I can see that. I would have did the same thing too. But then you got people that are really like, nah, this is my life, and they're like, nah, man, it's never an excuse to do that. Like, there's never an excuse to betray your brother. You cannot create a scenario in your head where it's like, well, you know, I could, you know, if this happens, I might have to. No, the scriptures say, render not evil for evil. So even if a brother sells you out and you see him in the other room, him, he did it. You can't be like that little boy you understand? You can't be like that. Because then you just rendered evil for evil and you don't have any integrity.
Yahweh Shah still showed love, you know. At the Last Supper, he knew he was gonna get betrayed. He knew who did it, and he still showed love, man. You know.
That's something to ponder on, man.
You ain't gonna get that witness protection program.
I got a precept. This is Ecclesiasticus in Sirach, chapter 19, verse 8. It says, whether it be friend or foe, talk not of other men's lives, and if thou canst without offense reveal them not. I'm going to skip down to verse 10. It says, if thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee, and be bold. It will not burst. It will not burst thee. But the point of the matter is, whether it was friend or foe, whether it's one of your brothers in the camp, or whatever camp, or anybody who's talking crap about you,
Or a guy that fell out the camp.
a guy that fell out the camp, anybody, one of your family members who still thinks you're crazy for believing in this, whether it's friend or foe, because we can say the family members because of Matthew the 10th chapter,
Tells you,
verse 36. Whether it be friend or foe, don't talk about another man's life. So when you are in that predicament or in that situation, I got nothing to say. It's going to die with me. Whatever I know with them, about them, is going to die with me. You're not going to get this.
That's why, you know, a man of integrity, his speech is always what? It's always about Yahweh Shai. So at that moment, it shouldn't even be about you. It should still be about Yahweh Shai. So if you take the narrative away from Yahweh Shai at any moment, you're leaving yourself room to talk about something you ain't got no business talking about.
They got you out your element.
They got you out your element. You're out of the hedge now. So here it is. You could have kept it on. Well, nah, it's about Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is coming to set up the kingdom of heaven. The scriptures. What does it say in Romans the 3rd chapter, the third through the 4th verse? Let every man be a liar, let the Most High be true. So all these things got to be in your head, got to be in you. So if you go from that moment to now talking about somebody else, you out of the spirit. No, we can talk about me and what I'm doing for Yahweh Shai, but I can't talk about what this brother is. I don't know this brother is. The scriptures say, work out thy own salvation. So if this is what I got to deal with for my salvation, this is what we got to focus in on. Why at that moment am I talking about somebody else anyway? Well, yeah, that brother, his Hebrew name is this, but really his government name is this. You know, I mean, I've known him about 5 years. Never really liked the guy. What the fuck you gonna say?
That's off.
You know it's gonna go. It can't start right and end wrong. It can't start wrong and end right. You get what I'm saying? Either you gonna, at that moment, you gotta be in the spirit, man. So we gotta be in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, man. Be quiet. Matter of fact, anybody holding anything else, we can go to Mark 14 and 41. And bring up what you got.
Come, this is Psalm 41 and 9.
Let me see Mark 14 and 41 when you get there.
And this is kind of a prophecy of that situation with Judas. This is Psalm 41 and 9. It says, my own familiar friend in whom I trusted, which did eat my bread, hath lifted up his heel against me. So like, be your own bro, man. That you consider your bro for umpteenth amount of years. And as you know, he's saying something about you. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that, but I don't hate to say it because it's just prophecy. It's going to happen. You just better pray to the Lord that he doesn't put that spirit of betrayal on you. Keep yourself in good standings. Like the book of Jude says, it says, keeping in the love of the Most High. Keep yourself in good standings with Yahweh Shai. He won't relinquish that spirit to you. Because he is the father of spirits. You know, he can put any type of spirit on you.
So you gotta pray.
God, he is merciful, long suffering, and you know he will forgive you. Just pray to him, hey, you know, Salakia, please, Babak Shah, don't put these evil spirits on me to do this.
That's right.
You know, and behold, he'll do it. Just believe. You know?
Hey, the Most High always give you a ram in the bush if you're sincere. So the Lord will always give you a way out if you just are sincere and you stand tall, man. Be bold in the spirit, man. You know, don't be in that feeble, you know, because once you're in that feeble spirit right there, you open yourself up for other weak spirits. Hey, man, you know, then
like Smoky Mama on Friday, just let it all out, man.
Just telling it all, man.
Stress forth from neck.
You know, you in that feeble spirit at that moment. See, your first spot should be, Lord, set up a prayer for the Lord to give you the strength. But if now you're already feeble, so you're not thinking prayer. You're not thinking, what would Yahweh Shai do? You're thinking, man, how the fuck am I gonna get out of this situation? Then the demon gonna get in that ear, man. You know, just tell him a little bit about Abba, man. You know, just tell him, you know, just tell him something, man. You're like, yeah. Matter of fact, you fucked up. All right, we coming into a time where we're not gonna be able to get the same mistakes that we get now. See, now you can make a mistake and you be like, oh fuck, I fucked up.
Yeah.
They slap you, brother. No, we going in that time now where these fuck ups are can cause not just your life, but the men around you life, man. So you gotta minimize these fuck ups right now, so that when we go into that time, you just in the spirit make it. You trust in the spirit. You trust in your brothers. You know, that brotherly love. You should be every day learning to trust and believe in your brothers more and more, because you should see Yahweh Shai more and more in each other.
That's right.
You know? But if you going into that day, you already like, I don't know about this guy already.
Yeah, you just playing the story.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you already, here it is, we at peace.
Yeah.
We eating chicken and drinking beer together, and we have a moment where we can kick back. But you already in the spirit of like,
Hey, the scriptures say a friend cannot be known. What is that? A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy can't be hid in adversity.
Oh yeah.
So when it's all fine and dandy, it don't mean he was really about it for you in the first place. Let's see when all hell breaks loose. Let's see how he reacts.
I appreciate it, brother.
I'm gonna get you said you wanted to
I got that mark.
yeah, bring out the Mark 14 and 41 through 42, and then we'll get that one. We'll close up if nobody on there.
This is Mark 14 and verse 41.
Yeah, 144, right? That's it.
Yeah, 144.
Kind. This is Mark 14 and 41. And he cometh the third time and said unto them, sleep on now and take your rest. It is enough. The hour is come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners.
See, and this is when Yahweh Shai was praying to the Lord. I think he was in, what is that, Mount Gethsemane, which Gethsemane in the Hebrew means oil press. So Yahweh Shai was feeling that pressure, but he didn't fold. He prayed to the Lord 3 times. The Lord didn't answer him, right? So what did he do? he just, all right, I got to deal with it. He stood tall. All right, keep going.
Come. Verse 42. Rise up, let us go. Lo, he that betrayeth me is at hand.
See, the betrayal was at hand. Yahweh Shai didn't even run from that. That's another thing you got to deal with too. Don't run from it. This is so crazy to think Yahweh Shai knew that he was going to sell him out, and then he knew that this is what he had. He just dealt with it, man. He dealt with it. He didn't. When even that Judas at the Passover, you know, he dipped it. What did he do?
He dipped the sock.
He dipped the sock, and he told him to get it done. He ain't do it quickly. He ain't curse him out. He like, yeah, you fuck, nigga. You know, Jake, he always having that boys in the hood mentality when they want to deal with things.
He dipped the sock and threw it at him.
Yeah, what's up, you fuck, nigga? Yeah, nigga, what's up? You a hoe ass nigga, bitch. Jake, that's how you see the situation. Nah, man. Yahweh Shai dealt with it in a way that, like, it's like, damn, man. Like, I pray that will I handle it that way? Like, if the guy is selling me out is right here, I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna kill this nigga. But that's carnal. What if what he had to do, what Judas did was biblical prophecy for us to be able to gain repentance. So the Lord allowed it to happen because he knew it had to happen for our sake. So what if in that day something got to happen for everybody to be saved around you? Deal with it, man. All right? Be in the spirit, man. Any more closes?
I just had this one.
Yeah, bring it up.
It's Psalms 56 and 11. It says, in the Most High have I put my trust. I will not be afraid of what man can do unto me.
That's another precept in Psalm 118 and 6. It says like the same thing. You know, what can man do unto me? That's why they said what? In the book of Matthew, 10th chapter, I think, right?
It's a heavy chapter.
You know, so it's like, they can only harm you in the carnal realm. They can't take what's inside of you, which is your spirit, man. So keep that shield of integrity around your spirit, man. You know, don't fold like a taco and crack like an egg, man.
Don't do it, man. Hey, two things happen to eggs, man. Think about it. That heat, you add heat to an egg, what it do? It makes it hard. So either you're gonna be a hard-boiled egg or you're gonna be an egg out the carton, man. And crack, don't crack, man. All right, be tough, tough it out. This is the time now. This is the thing that you should be meditating on. You shouldn't be thinking right there. Yes, we are in the flesh, so you don't have fleshly thoughts. But if your mind ain't thinking about the Passover and what it means, and really the depths of it, the betrayal side of it, then what are you thinking about, man? All right, so any brothers got any closing? All right, well, I pray this lesson was edifying. All right, we're going to close it up here, and we're going to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh. All right, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Hey, shalom to all the sincere Akim that's out there. And until next time, shalom.
Shalom.